Today in our 2016 Jeep Compass, we're going to take a look at and then show you how to install the CURT Custom Fit Class 2 Trailer Hitch Receiver. This offers the 1¼ inch by 1¼ inch opening. Its part number is C12057. Now here's what our hitch is going to look like installed. As you can see, we keep most of our rear fascia appearance here. That cross tube is going to be completely hidden in behind there. Really all we've got visual is going to be our receiver tube opening. That's going to come out here to our 1¼ inch by 1¼ inch opening. You can see that nice flush looking reinforcement collar here at the end. See, it's tucked up underneath the rear of the bumper here, so we're not going to have to really worry about hitting our legs on it or anything like that. Got the round steel stock style safety chain connection points. Plenty of room there to make connections with. We're going to have our 1/2 inch diameter pinhole here on the side. This is what we're going to use to attach all of our accessories. Now with this being a Class 2 hitch, it's going to work out really well for just about any use. Towing capabilities are really good on it. Your bike racks, cargo carriers, things like that, they do design them for 1¼ inch. They'll go in there and you won't have any problems carrying even some heavier loads with it. The tongue weight rating that the hitch offers is 300 pounds. That's the maximum downward force that we can put here in our receiver tube opening. And it offers a 3,500 pound gross trailer weight rating. That would be the total weight of your trailer and anything that you were to load up on it. Now it doesn't have a weight distribution rating, so if you're going to be using any of the cargo carriers or the bike racks, they do recommend that you use a stabilization strap. If you're using a wheeled load, something like a trailer, well, that wouldn't be required. You do want to check the owner's manual on the Compass, of course, see what its tow ratings are, and you will go off of whichever of those are the lowest. Now a few measurements that'll come in handy when it comes to picking out your ball mounts, bike racks, or even hitch cargo carriers will be from the ground to the inside top edge of the receiver tube opening. We've got about 14¼ inches. Then from the center of our hitch pin hole to the outermost edge of our bumper, it's about 6. Now to begin our installation, we need to take out a small area of the fascia here just to allow for the shank of the hitch to rest in place there. We need to first mark our center, which is going to be about 7 inches from the outside of these rivets. It's 14, so if you split that, that's about 7. Then we're going to make our marks here from that center mark. We need to go about 2 3/4, so we'll be about 1 3/8 inches from each side here. Now we're going to measure up from this rear edge, rearward here. We need to go 2 9/16, which is just about 1/16 of an inch past this bend. So we're just going to use that bend for reference. Cut right along that edge. We can always take out more if we need to. Now we'll kind of mark it out as squarely as we can for it being on a curved surface here. All right, now we'll begin trimming this out. Now we can always take out more, so we'll err on the side of too little first. All right, now we can use a razor blade here. You can also use like a rotary tool to cut this out. It's just a pretty soft material, so it's easy enough to do by hand. All right, now as an option, you can lower down the exhaust. I recommend doing it. It just gives you some extra room to work. You're gonna use a little strap to give us some support up here in the front. And then we'll remove a couple hangers here in the rear. Now here on the driver's side, it's kind of up on the front corner of the rear exhaust section here, and it's going to be on the opposite side or closer to the rear here on the passenger side. A little bit of spray lubricant there usually makes these pretty easy to pop off, just kind of a pry bar or a big screwdriver in behind them. All right, that should be good. Now it's time to get our hardware pre-positioned. You can see we're going to take the long bolts. We need to place a flat washer on. And then in our frame rail, there are going to be holes that pass from the outside to the inside. We're going to place a bolt in each one. You'll see where it comes out here in the inside of the frame rail. Then we're just going to push them back to where they're sitting even. We'll go over and do the same thing for the driver's side. Those attachment points will be in the exact same location. Now we'll grab a 10mm socket. We're going to just pull this heat shield down temporarily. It's held in place with 4 fasteners. We can set that aside. Now we're going to slide our hitch up into position, kind of take that side plate and go right up through the opening that we created. We'll just kind of rotate it up and in. And once we have it up in position, we're just going to slide our bolts in on each side. That'll help hold it there for us. Looks like our cutout looks really good. You see it clears just a little bit there. Sits right on top and we're not really forcing the fascia up. So I'd leave it right where it's at. It's time to grab our flange nuts and get those threaded on. Now the flange nuts are going to thread on the bolts on the inside of the frame rail here. Let's get that done on both sides, then we'll snug those down. Now as we snug these down, we want to do it evenly from side to side. We're going to use a 19mm or a 3/4 inch ratchet and wrench. All right, now we'll look in the instructions there. We're going to see the torque specifications for our hardware. We want to get all of them torqued down appropriately. Got our bolts torqued down. Let's get our heat shield put back into place. We want the edge that drops down to be over on the driver's side. And we can line up our bolt holes. We'll just push it back up on there and then we'll re-secure it with the nuts. All right, now we'll raise our exhaust back up. Now these hangers should slide back together pretty easily. If not, you can always spray them with a little more lubricant. All right, now we'll remove our strap. With our exhaust back in place, that completes the installation of the CURT Custom Fit Class 2 Trailer Hitch Receiver, part number C12057, on our 2016 Jeep Compass.